Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kuhn, and in this video presentation I will be talking about myself, as well as some of the experiences that I've had through Full Sail University. As you can see, I have my WordPress portfolio site pulled up. I'll be going through a couple of the pages here, as well as some of the projects that I've done during my time at Full Sail University. However, before we jump into that, a little about myself. I was originally born in Chandler, Arizona. I lived in Tempe with my family for around 10 years. We moved to Cary, North Carolina in 2007. During that time, I spent a lot of my youth working in digital media in my school, and I was also part of the Boy Scouts of America, which I was fortunate enough to earn my Eagle before aging out. In terms of myself as a developer, I see myself more front-end than back-end. I really enjoy working in React, templating, putting projects together visually, making sure that they're accessible and responsive. As you can see on my WordPress site, I share quite a bit about myself, from my photography and hobbies to some of the places that I've been and plan on going to in the future. Professionally, I have a diverse skill set that expands beyond just the basic skills that one would pick up as a software developer, which includes things such as public speaking, creative writing, documentation, understanding DevOps and engineering management for developers, as well as certain skills in digital media, like utilizing Illustrator or InDesign to plan out web apps more efficiently. I'm also fairly experienced with accessibility and responsiveness in web applications, as well as the basic skills like HTML, JavaScript, CSS, utilizing frameworks like Node.js, Express.js, and databases such as MongoDB and MySQL. As you can see below my skills on my professional background page, I also dive into some of my inspirations as a developer. And below that, I list out some of my experience, both working as well as volunteer experience in some cases, which ranges from being a senior camp counselor for YMCA Camp Seagull in North Carolina, to running my own dog and house sitting business, which I managed through Google Spreadsheets to give homeowners live updates. I also talk about my Eagle Scout project, as well as some additional leadership opportunities that I had courtesy of the Boy Scouts of America. In my project directory page, users are given the opportunity to look over a couple of the various projects that I've worked on throughout my time here at Full Sail University. The list is in descending order from when the projects occurred. However, it's also in order of significance. For starters, I show off my capstone project, which is a board game centered e-commerce site where users can sign up, create a user store, and then list both products and services on their store for other users to purchase, similar to Amazon or Etsy. Prior to that, I created an application that I called Mars Travel Planner, which was a rocket date calendar app paired with a to-do list for astronauts preparing to make the one-way journey to Mars in preparation for colonization of other worlds. Even before that, I attempted a therapy application called LiveDBT, which took the daily practice of life skills as well as journaling experiences and tried to simplify those aspects of dialectical behavioral therapy in the form of a web application. Early on in 2019, I was still experimenting with just the basics of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So here you can see an example of a super basic web page. It has a gallery image above it, which I'll show in a little bit here. But the main content of the page was just a basic form that asks you what kind of video game resource you want to craft, how many of that resource you want to make, and then when you submit the form, it spits out the number of raw resources needed to create it. Each project has a date for when I originally worked on it, a link to the Git repo so that anyone can see the code or install my applications and give them a try for themselves, as well as background information and the skills that were used to make each project. To demonstrate a few of the various projects that I've worked on throughout my time at Full Sail, I'm going to start in my project directory page on my WordPress site. 2 out of the 5 projects that I've listed offer links to a clickable. Users have the opportunity to interact with the various states and pages for both Tiamat's Art Bazaar as well as Mars Travel Planner, each showing off some of the main features and forms. If you want to experience one of the projects locally on your own device, the easiest would be Satisfactory Calculator. All that's required is you go to, once there, use the clone or download button, download the zip folder and open it locally on your device. Once within the folder, just double click index.html and then the project is running locally on your machine. It's pretty easy to use. Just indicate the type of component you'd like to craft, how many, hit submit, and you are left with the number of raw resources needed to craft the total number of components desired. There's also a little toggle down here. It's all basic HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Nothing super fancy. If you want to run Tiamat's Art Bazaar, it's a little bit more complicated, but a similar process. By going to the Git repo for Tiamat's and downloading locally again. Once you find yourself in the folder, preferably in a developing tool such as Visual Studio Code, you'll want 2 terminals. In the first terminal, you'll want to change directory, so cd into React. You can start typing out the folder name and then finish the name by hitting tab in Visual Studio Code. Once in the React.js folder, you'll want to run npm start. That will run our front end, and you should automatically be taken to localhost 3000, at which point you'll see a lot of the content is there. Switch back to our IDE. In our second terminal, we'll want to, again, cd, but this time I'll change directory into the API, our backend server, and then instead of npm, we'll run npm run nodemon start, which is essentially the same thing for what we're experiencing here. But with both the front and the backend servers running, we'll be able to experience the various pages for Tiamat's Art Bazaar. And that's everything for my demos. For those that would like to learn more or would like to follow me in my journey to becoming a full stack developer, you can do so by subscribing to my web blog, where I talk about some of the things I've learned, and I will be documenting some of the various articles that I've bookmarked throughout my time at Full Sail. Or you can also follow me on Twitter, Full Steve Development. I appreciate all of you guys taking the time to watch my portfolio video, and if any of you would like to reach out to me, feel free to do so either through my LinkedIn, through Slack, through my Full Sail email, or through my contact form on my WordPress site. Again, thanks for watching everyone, and I hope you guys all have a fantastic day.